Hello everyone and welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast, a podcast that has been 3 days brewing, a podcast that will be more than chaotic, and a podcast that may have more notes than ever, yet less things to truly say than ever. I am not sure if my audio is doing all right, so I hope everything's doing okay, because as with everything regarding Olympiacos, I have been fighting with some audio issues, and my hair may be having a worse day than the club did on Friday, but Christ above. So do let me know if everything audio and video wise is doing fine. But yeah, I honestly don't know where to start. There is a lot of things to be said. There are a lot of things that have been said. There are a lot of things that have been discussed, rightfully so, rightfully not. Of course, the EuroLeague is now officially over. Congratulations to Fener. I was really hoping that Monaco did go and pick up one of the most surprising trophies that we've seen in a while, but Bale couldn't eventually get the team over the line, and that's, of course, none of his fault. Fener played consistent basketball, nothing too special basketball-wise, but they kept playing consistent basketball and went on to lift the trophy like they honestly, genuinely deserved. Congrats, of course, to former Red Kemperts, who was rumored for the team a few months ago, but of course the deal didn't go through. And yeah, good final, but as we all more or less expected, Fener came out on top. On the other game, of course, we beat Panathinaikos in a game where no one really showed that much interest. It had more of an all-star vibe to it, if that makes sense. No focus really on the main players, a lot of DLPs on both sides, minimal minutes for stars, more on Panathinaikos side. Bartzokas just changed the rotation up a bit, but not too much. And yeah, beat Panathinaikos. In the end, the score wasn't nearly as big as it looked like it was going to be, but a win's a win. And the head of the finals, a win against Panathinaikos may go a long way, even though I think that nothing really shown today will be anywhere near close what we should be expecting on Friday onwards. And yeah, honestly, I said it while posting the link to the show. You will probably have seen it. I will probably say it when I post the link after, so you will probably for sure see it. As with everyone, or most people at the very least. I'm very lost in what to say. I feel like in the 10, 12 years I've been watching basketball, not only for a lot of reasons is this the one that hurts the most, but it's some of the worst damage control that has been had in the past. Players seem to be divided. The coach seems drained, B seems drained. Of course, we saw semi-altercation after today's game as well. The Panathinaikos fan that was talking shit and, of course, ran immediately away when B went up to him. The Angelopoulos were there today. They got the applause from the people. Some people have criticized the applause they got. I'm not gonna, because it's not my job to go on and criticize stuff like that. The people felt like they should applaud them, and so they did. I'm not gonna say anything regarding that, but they've said nothing in the media. They've said nothing after the loss, and we are at a place where we are not even a week before the start of the finals for the basket league, and we don't even truly know who's gonna be there. We don't even truly know who's gonna be available to play for the club. We know people are going. We know people that have said that they don't know what's gonna happen. We know people that have rightfully or not rightfully, depends on how everyone judges everything, complained about this year, about Bartzokas, about their playtime and everything like that. Shaq came out and said that he's very heavily considering retirement after the finals, of course. And it all seems like it's in a state of extreme disarray. It all seems like it's in a state of. It all feels like a ticking bomb that's ready to completely blow up. And the first thing that I do want to focus on, because as I mentioned, it's more important than anything you can really go on and touch on. We still have one main goal to chase after, and with how things have turned up, it's the bare minimum to chase after that goal. It's like Gate 7 said, it's not that there is a win contract that we have signed to follow this team, but we do expect this team to fight. We do expect this team to play at 1,000,000% whenever it is fighting for a title, because this is Olympiacos, and Olympiacos is the best, the top club in Greece and one of the top clubs in Europe. And 4 straight unsuccessful Final Fours is a failure. And the biggest disappointment, as we all know, and the biggest failure is this year, for reasons known. So, for our 100 years, the bare minimum these players can do is get their shit together, concentrate, and give it their all to bring the league back. Give it their all and more to bring the league back. Am I hopeful? No, I'm not. I'm nowhere near hopeful, as almost no one is. But I am at the very minimum expecting them to go and fight for it, because that's what everyone should be expecting. And at the very minimum, as I said again, people should be expecting them to go and fight for it solely for the fans that are behind this team. And that's a nice segue to say the congratulations that are so deserved. And the biggest statement of the Final Four, in my opinion, was made by our own fans. The biggest statement of the Final Four was made by our own people. A complete fan domination, whether it was in Pana's semi-final, whether it was in our semi-final, whether it was at the third place game, whether it was at the EuroLeague final. The fans that were the loudest and the fans that were non-stop were the Olympiacos fans. The Olympiacos fans dominated the arena. The Olympiacos fans silenced the Panathinaikos fans, silenced the Fener fans. I'd say silenced the Monaco fans, but they were like 5 people. It's incredible. It's incredible that the fans, that the true fans that this club has, the unconditional love that we all have, but especially the people that went there have for this club. Even today, where the disappointment had settled, the sadness had settled, we were drowning in chaos. Even now, the fans were, it felt like louder than ever. They were chanting everything, hyping players up, of course, giving Fournier specifically the flowers that he deserved, and we'll get into that in quite a bit. I feel like this was going to be long, so again, I hope everything is running fine and it keeps running fine. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable as a fandom when we cut the toxic BS, when we stand behind this team no matter what, because Olympiacos never ends. Olympiacos will never end. Olympiacos will always be back, even from the darkest of days. Olympiacos will always be back. And when we truly stand behind this team, the complete roar of the unstoppable people that stand behind this team just outshines everything and everyone. Honestly, everyone was in awe from all over Europe, just watching our fans give it their all. And an applause isn't just necessary, an applause isn't even enough to cover the gratitude I, and of course everyone, has for the fans that were there. And despite another and one of the biggest heartbreaks yet, didn't give up on the team and instead stood behind it, giving an example of what it means to truly, unconditionally, and wholeheartedly love a team. Because it honestly was an example to be studied, an example to be mimicked. It was a perfect example of what it means to truly be a fan of a team. It was a perfect example for what it means to truly be behind the team. And again, it was the perfect example of unconditional love for an organization, because that's what it is. Because again, as I said, no matter the heartbreak, no matter anything that happened, the fans were there and the fans were louder than ever. It felt like. So immense gratitude for those boys that spent all they did, immense respect for those boys that spent all they did, and we should follow suit in their mentality, in their example, and not just for the finals, not just for next season, but for good, stand behind the team like they did, unconditionally and no matter what. Truly, truly, no matter what. Now, to slowly transition into the chaos, and honestly, I don't even truly know where to actually touch on, where to begin. uh, I don't know. I don't know how to start. I don't know how you can actively start this. As I said, it's a massive heartbreak. Everyone was managing nerves. Everyone was managing disappointment. Everyone was managing that completely empty feeling, because I think we all just completely ran out of tears. uh, a lot of things were said upon nerves. A lot of discussions were opened, and honestly, the main thing that should be said is that this club, this organization needs change. A change in personnel, may that be a change in mentality, may that be a change in identity, if you want to call it. May that be a lot of things. But this team needs a revamp, because it's one time too many, right? And the blame's on everyone. Of course, I'm gonna go through a lot of points I've noted down. I've seen some points I already briefly went over, but the blame's on everyone, isn't it? Uh, you have to think that the blame's on everyone. But before I fully head into it, I just wanna say the other positive thing, that amidst the one of the most indifferent Olympiacos Panathinaikos games that there were, it was revealed / announced that there is strong interest from Olympiacos in Tyson Ward, and there is very good terms. They're in a very good level of discussion for a 2-year deal, but because there is an asterisk that I hadn't seen at the start, his former coach wants him in Memphis, in the Grizzlies, so that's where the scale is kind of balancing right now. I know for some, or arguably most, Tyson Ward isn't the best of choices, but I like the player and I think he fit and help the team a lot in a position where we need that revamp, honestly. It's one of the positions that we needed because God where don't we with the people leaving, but that's a story we'll get into. It's a very good start to what needs to be a reactionary summer, if that makes sense. Because it's a start. Tyson Ward is a start. There is a lot of more things that need to be done, and I'm sure that a lot of decisions will be made after the finals of the basket league. But it's a start, and it's a good start to what really needs to be a reactionary summer. And getting back to those finals for a bit, even if we win the league, because I am really hoping that we do win the league, even if we do go on and win the league, the fact that this club needs change doesn't get removed. I know that the finals can flip a lot of things on their head, can change some decisions, sure. But those decisions, in my opinion, they need to be made either way. It would be the idealist of scenarios if we do end the year with a trophy. But even if the trophy comes, the changes still need to be made. Not because this team is gonna grow stale. we already are in a loop that's proving to be more or less vicious, honestly. We are already in a loop that's proved to be draining. But for the team, again, not to avoid growing stale, but to take that needed further step up, so we can say that we are going into the final four of the EuroLeague, chase the trophy, and not do the best we can. Change is needed. Again, I cannot name what change is needed. I'll go through a lot of things, but I know that change in general is a need. Again, I hope everything is running smoothly. If someone can, please do update me on audio and video, because stuff is weird connection wise and setup wise. So do update me on that when possible. What's there even to say about Friday? I I feel like I'm drawing blanks. I feel like I've forgotten plays, and I feel like with everything that happened, the game started a spiral of so many needed conversations and exposed so many problems, both in the club and in the fan base, which sort of killed the game itself. Like the result killed the game. But the main thing the main things, because it's a few things that I want to mention about the game. First of all, I think it's the only big real positive that we can mention regarding the game, and that's Evan Fournier. Evan almost took the game, almost. Evan is the only person that showed up to the fullest. He didn't just show up at 100%, he showed up at 1,000%. Tried to take the game on his shoulders, was everywhere. He was on defense, he was stealing the ball, taking rebounds, scoring layups, scoring threes. God knows what it's easier to say what he didn't do, and that's nothing, because he did everything. And he almost did it. Honestly, he almost turned the game around on his own, gave us hope when hope was already lost. And when the game ended, the only person that was bawling his eyes out was the only person that should have and could have left the game with his head held high. Now give me a second because I need to get some water in my system because my voice is already dying. As I was saying, he was the only person that should have and could have left the game with his head held high, and he didn't because he felt disappointment. He felt that he did all he could and more, and yet the team didn't achieve their goal. He felt the disappointment that the fans felt, and honestly, because this phrase has been going around a lot, I at least believe that he's truly the only one who was as broken, because Christ were we broken. I believe that he is the only one who was as broken after the loss, and in general in the days following, like yesterday and today, as much, if not more, than us, the fans. I believe that he is the only one that can claim that, because he is the only one that showed that. Of course, same day discussions were held because of a thing that honestly bothered me as well. The only person that went to comfort Evan was Spanoulis, Coach Spanoulis. No one from the team. I'm pretty sure someone did, but at least player was. No one from the team went to comfort the man. And he was the only one bawling his damn eyes out. That pissed me off so much. I won't even lie, that annoyed me so incredibly much. And honestly, how could it not? Because for a team that has shown, I'm not even going to say has claimed, has shown that it's a family before, because the team has shown how close they are many times. When such a low point hits, you can't leave the man that gave his, as I said, easily 1,000% to ball his eyes alone, only for Spanoulis to go and comfort him. And it's not only that. It's not only that. After the game, when media just showed up and came around as always, also apologies for just completely messing with everything. It's so hot here. But yeah, afterwards, after the media, came and took statements and everything, and with actions hanging around and stuff. He was the only one that apologized. I'm saying same day, I'll move on to yesterday afterward. He was the only one that truly apologized because Sasha spoke as well, but Vezenkov's words were, I'm not gonna go after Sasha because that's not what I want to do, but Vezenkov's words were way too rehearsed for a scenario like that. And then you pan over to Fournier, who is still bawling his eyes out, apologizing to the fans, apologizing to the people that went there to support the team to see them lift the trophy, and apologizing for failing them. And next day, he's the first one that speaks. Pretty sure that he spoke even before Bartzokas and Pap. And he says that he feels like complete shit, and he stepped forward to say to show, not to just say, to show how devastated he was. And I will massively give that to the team, to the man that is on the team for the least amount of time, because he feels the team not the most, because I am going to talk about Pap in a bit, but he feels the team so much after just a year. And as Spanoulis told him, because God, it feels weird to say coach Spanoulis, as Spanoulis told him, in 20 years of career, he lifted 3 Euroleagues. Lost his comb, but again, credits to the boys over at Relo 7. I am pretty sure as well that he said that we are going to win a lot. And that for me shows the thing that we all know, and Spanoulis knows as well, that he is going to eventually land back to his family, to his home, and coach Olympiacos back to that winning mentality that we need, honestly. And winning mentality is a word that's been thrown around a lot. Winning mentality is something that people said Spanoulis has. Winning mentality is something that people said Spanoulis doesn't have. I land on the side that, of course, Spanoulis has a winning mentality. Spanoulis is one of the biggest winners European basketball has ever produced. Greek basketball has ever produced, along with Diamatidis and co. And because he hasn't succeeded as a coach, he took Monaco to a EuroLeague final, but because he didn't win anything as a coach of a EuroLeague team in his first year, people are hesitant. But I think that Spanoulis has already shown that he's an incredible coach, and I think that Spanoulis has so much more to give. We'll get into next year, and I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I can for sure say that Spanoulis has a massive road to success in front of him. And I saw a debate today that can coach Spanoulis surpass player Spanoulis in success. And as much as it may be truly too early to say, I believe that he can. I believe that Spanoulis as a coach can win more than he did as a player. And I believe we'll see a lot of greatness from this man, as we have already, but connected to the previous point, I believe we'll see some unimaginable greatness coming from this man. As we move on back to Ivan, he's also the main person that took responsibility aside from Pap and he's also the main person that focused on the finals, and we said that we have one more major goal to fight for. Moving on to Pap really quickly, because a lot of people found it weird and criticized that he didn't talk immediately or that he didn't comfort Evan when he was bawling his eyes out. I am more or less criticizing the second thing, because I would have loved to see the captain go on and quote unquote protect. I think you'll get how I'm using the word protect. Someone like Fournier. But I knew that he was gonna come forward and talk in the open media training, and he did. He took on full responsibility. He said that I can't even bear to lift my head and look our fans in the eyes. And I respect Pap a lot. Pap is someone that's been leading this club for a while. Pap is one of the true people that represent the Olympiacos spirit rightfully. And Pap is a player that's gotten a lot of hate, but I've said it before and I say it again. When Papanikolaou eventually retires, he'll be remembered as a legend, and his jersey is the next one that will be up in the rafters. And again, that is more than rightfully, I think. The main negative of the game on Friday is split into two parts, I think. One part is that perhaps we were too focused mentally on the prospect of a Greek final. Both us and Panathinaikos, that we didn't full on mentally prepare for both opponents. And again, I'm not focusing just on us. I'm saying us for Monaco and Panathinaikos for Fener, that we underestimated them. I'm sure that we didn't just completely overlook Monaco, but you can never know how much that prospect mentally distracted the players and mentally affected the planning of the game, which more or less leads me to my second point, that the team had no identity on Friday. The team showed no signs of the basketball that got it here. The team actively showed no plan. It really didn't. I'm pretty sure that in the first quarter, was it? I may be completely wrong here. I don't have the stats in front of me. We had 0 assists at some point. Flip that on its head. Go to today, we broke the assist record. Pretty sure we had 30 at halftime. A lot of one-on-one basketball. The ball movement wasn't there. It felt like the chemistry was dead. Missing 3 shots, while the defense was great. At some points, it felt like the defensive end of the game and the offensive end of the game were completely disconnected, while throughout the entirety of the season and throughout the entirety of the past few years, we've said that the defense, when Olympiacos plays good defense, it builds up and springs into great offense, because that's how we've been playing basketball for a while. But that didn't happen again. And the team was lost. The team felt very lost. And it sucks. It sucks a lot. Because if we played our basketball, if we played concentrated, if we didn't rush decisions. That's another thing. A lot of rush decisions on offense and a lot of not rush decisions on defense. How do I say this correctly? A lot of non-caring on defense. I felt like I saw the ball being passed to the paint and scored more times than I can physically count on Friday. Sasa was completely nullified by Spanoulis and his plan, and B didn't change up his plan to force a change on the other end as well, which gave Monaco even more freedom, which further on killed ours. We were completely outclassed and outplayed by a coach that is running his first year in the EuroLeague. And I love Bill, you all know that. But he is running his first year in the EuroLeague and he completely killed our plan. Completely killed it. And the complete nullification of Sasa, the refusal to change the plan, and the non-show, because it was a non-show from a lot of players, and the limited time of players that could have contributed a lot more than the ones that played did, nullified their chances and set them even below zero. And I had hope when Evan went on that insane streak, doing everything and anything he can. I had hope. I had hope up until the final few minutes. But realistically, with the basketball we played, there was no way we'd get it done. There wasn't a way we could get it done with the basketball we played. And that's the truth. The truth is that Monaco deserved it. We showed up completely unprepared, which is, again, what Gate 7 touched on. It's a crime against this club to show up unprepared. And we kept talking about pressure. We kept talking about stuff like that. What pressure? You are a professional athlete playing at the top level and you show up unprepared. What pressure got to you? It seems inexcusable to me. And again, I'll go back to what I said at the start, that it's not a necessity to go and win. Even though, again, if we played seriously, we would have. But it is a necessity to try. It is a goddamn necessity to try. And it just spiraled on from there. It sadly just completely killed everything off. A lot of players came out and talked, as we know. A lot of discussions were opened. And it showed that changes need to be made, as I mentioned previously. I do want to mention, but I don't want to stand on it that much. The first thing that Sasa did was close his Instagram and he reopened it almost immediately. Buffes closed his Twitter, I'm pretty sure. And as much as I understand, because it is in hindsight, it's a move that's inexcusable, but when you know that you are in a country where some people forget how to be human sometimes, even in the aims of supporting a team, I semi understand what it really took to close the social media of a player or a member of this team. But I said the only thing that had no explanation in my eyes is that the first thing that Sasa did after the game was close his Instagram immediately. Even if he reopened it, the fact that the first thing he thought of was to go on social media and deactivate it, that bothered me. In general, the whole thing can be discussed and can be excused in my eyes. But when you lose such an important game, in which, mind you, was one of the worst games for the club you currently play, it's inexcusable for the first thing you do to go and close your socials. Now, though, to completely flip the point on its head, the things that people have gone on and said about Vezenkov are insane. Again, we are a fan base and we're living in a country where criticism and demolition without even thinking are very rarely separated. We are talking about a player that had one of his worst nights in one of the most crucial games in his career. And that's inexcusable in every way, but not only to nullify what he gave you the entirety of the season, but to call for his head is insane. Nigel Hayes Davis got Final Four MVP or Finals MVP. I haven't seen what he got. I'm guessing he got Final Four MVP, which is deserved. Honestly, I after that shit show of a performance, Final Four MVP. After that shit show of a performance, I didn't really expect anyone from our team to pick up the trophy. And Nigel had a great Final Four, a great final, I presume, even though I haven't really checked his stats and I saw most of the final and not really all of it. He lifted the EuroLeague, so honestly, deserved and expected. Coming up on the hour mark, which is insane because I haven't even gotten through half of my points, I'll once again ask if everything has been running okay. So to update me if audio and video have been good. Where was I? Vezenkov. Calling for his head. I literally saw a tweet saying that it would be beneficiary for the team to let Vezenkov go and use the budget to sign two star players. You can't actively tell me that you think that with all of the issues that this team has, Vezenkov is your problem. I get that recency bias is a thing. I get that you're only as good as your last game is a phrase. But are you really sitting here and telling me that one of the first people you can get rid of in this team is Sasha Vezenkov? You're telling me that you don't think that Sasa is a need to be next to Evan and to build the team around them? I don't get that. I'm sorry, but I don't. I can't sit here and tell you, as much as I criticized Sasa, as much as I went on to say how he, as I said, he had one of the worst games of his career on Friday. Sadly, in one of the most crucial ones. I am not going to sit here and say that I want Sasa to leave. The team has much bigger problems, and I can confidently sit here and say that it's honestly an anger opinion. It's an anger opinion to sit here and say that you want Sasa to go. In what way? Ah, good. Honestly, without me aiming to be ironic in the slightest bit, please do go and tell me in the comments that if you do want Sasha Vezenkov to leave the team in the summer, please give me the reason. Please give me the reason why you want Vezenkov to leave the team. And I want to discuss it like I asked for Alec. Please give me the reason that you want Vezenkov to leave the team. Speaking of changes, short tweet, yeah. And I honestly massively agree. Because I did mention winning mentality before, and I did mention that there need to be a lot of internal changes in personnel as well. And two people that, in my opinion, need to be in the team are Milan Tomic and Yorgos Pridezis. Of course, Pridezis is the first one, because if this man wants to work in the basketball world again, in any department, we need to bring him in. We need to sit him next to whoever the coach is, because even the effect that he will have in the locker room will make it more than worth it for him to be a member of this team, let alone his basketball IQ, let alone that he knows he lives and breathes Olympiacos, and the same can be said for Milan Tomic. It's two people that need to have a spot in the Olympiacos DC staff, in my opinion, and perhaps it's one of the first things that I need to go on and happen this summer. Again, at least in the way I see it. Because slowly but surely we need to bring in pieces that not only live and breathe Olympiacos, but can get us that one step further. I don't want to open this conversation. I don't. Because it is a very hard conversation and a very hard decision, and nothing that I or any of us have the final say in. And that's the coaching position of Olympiacos. We have finals to look forward to. Nothing will happen before the finals. And again, stuff may change. If we win the league, stuff may change if we lose the league. But I've said it, and I'll say it again. I am of the opinion, as hard as it is to sputter out loud, that Bartzokas' cycle at Olympiacos has ended. And I am saying this with no disrespect to Coach B. We will always love and adore him and appreciate that he brought us back from the pit of darkness that was Olympiacos before he came back to coach the club back in 2020. Because Olympiacos was bad before Bartzokas came in. Bartzokas doesn't have a bad Olympiacos. He's given his all to the club, as he said as well, and I know that he's given his all to the club. And whoever is disrespecting Coach B, I am full on against. But, as I said earlier on the socials as well, accepting that stuff may need to change for the betterment of the club shouldn't be connected with disrespect to anyone. So going back to that, I think this cycle at Olympiacos has ended. We'll see what happens, of course, with the league. Of course, I want us to win the league. But again, I want us to win the league with the circumstance that the changes that need to happen will still happen. And yet again, as usual with Olympiacos PC, there is a but. Bartzokas has contract up until next year, and I do agree with the opinion that the Angelopoulos will not let Bartzokas go earlier, and I do agree that it will be up to him. He may decide that it is better for Olympiacos for him to step down. He may decide that he's too tired because Olympiacos has been him, more or less, and he's been absolutely attacked non-stop ever since he came back with a very, very big emphasis on this year and the last one to protect him from the ownership, but that's a whole different issue. And he may decide that he's tired of this, and I wouldn't blame him in the slightest. But I think that it would be for the betterment of his club for B to step down. Now, an asterisk on this. If it's decided that Coach B will see out the final year of his contract, I am not going to go apeshit, as with people that I am not okay joining the club. On the player side, I'm still going to be behind Coach B like I am with every member of Olympiacos, because I will always be behind Olympiacos even in the worst of worst days. But I'll still be of the opinion that Coach B's cycle has ended now, and it has very sadly ended without another EuroLeague. But it's safe to say, I think, that it has. And then we go on to the very, 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 very tough combo of who the flying unholy fuck comes into replace Coach Bartzokas if you go. There is an obvious answer, and it's the answer that I stand by. If there is a way to bring Spanoulis to Olympiacos, again, because it's very hard, if there is a way you bring Spanoulis to Olympiacos, you bring Spanoulis to Olympiacos. I don't care what the buyout may be, you pay the downside. I understand the opinion that it's too early, perhaps, but if possible, and if Coach B goes, I'd rather bring Spanoulis in now and give him time to build what he wants, then bring another coach and bring Spanoulis in a year and a half, 2 years time, or even next summer. I don't want semi-interim coach for a season, to be honest. But if it's not possible bringing Spanoulis, there have been a lot of names thrown around, and to be honest with you, I don't know. Another name that was thrown around that did sound logical was, of course, Dimitris Tudis. But Tudis is where he is. He has the biggest contract in Europe as a coach, I'm pretty sure. And he has a contract for 2.5 years more, which is impossible to do. So I'm not even going to mention it today. Another name that I personally have been circling around, and a lot of others have as well. I'm not even listening to the Trinkeris. Someone even said, Splitter can stay the hell away. The only other name that I can go forward the name right now is Pascual. Jack Pascual. If it's not possible to bring in Spanoulis, and someone asks me who I'd bring in, that is a possibility, it's him. I know that's a controversial name. I know that a lot of people have said that he's given up on basketball a while now. But I think he's a safe bet. I think he would be a safe bet. But as I said, these are just opinions and speculations. It's nothing more. All I know is that I'll be behind this team no matter what. But as much as I hesitate to say it, I do think that Coach B's cycle, and again, without meaning any disrespect or with nothing erasing what he's done, I do think that his cycle has come to an end. Not as beautiful of an end as he perhaps deserved, but an end nonetheless. Now, perhaps now regarding what decision is taken, we'll see. Again, we still have a goal to chase. These are just speculations, and of course, we'll do a full-on season recap when the time comes. And by the way, regarding the show, of course, everything's down below. Do leave a like if you like what you say. I'm not even gonna really tell you to check out the Patreon. That's not even fully ready yet. It will be in the summer where a lot of things are gonna kick off. But please do like, and if you so wish for, of course, subscribe, because there is a lot of backlog of content. A new series has started called Transfer Chatter, where we will focus on players coming in. I will probably do this for the basketball as well, but we'll see. There are a lot of vlogs. You all have loved the latest vlog from the Cup final. It's reached 1,000, which is my third most popular vlog and video in general. And there are interviews as well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, there will be a number of huge interviews coming soon. So do go check everything out. But my point was going to be a bit different. We will probably have a football recap, season recap in general, tomorrow night, with Gav finally returning on the show. So keep your eyes out for that. But the season recap for basketball will come after the final, so this is just chatter in general, coaching-wise, player-wise, and stuff. Another one of the weird, because I don't want to call it anything else. Another one of the weird subjects that's shown up is Nigel Williams' goes that has basically more or less confirmed that he'll go to Zalgiris for 2+1. He has, to his credit, said that he'll do everything to chase the league, but according to rumors that have been more or less confirmed, I did talk about the rumors back when they first came out, and I said that let's wait. It turns out that my doubts were wrong and that the rumors did get confirmed, more or less, again. And it seems like we're also at fault with not really pursuing a renewal for Ghost. But again, because hindsight is a very beautiful thing, upping your performance and suddenly going out and seeking a contract. Again, if we didn't approach him for a renewal, that's on us. But it's weird. It's foul. It's foul. It's foul on both sides. And honestly, I would have kept Ghost. As controversial as that sounds, I would have kept Ghost. But whoever doesn't want to be here can go gladly. Whoever doesn't want to play for Olympiacos or has doubts or anything like that can always go. But again, if we didn't approach him, that's more on us. But you'll get the point. Another player that's leaving and another player that may not be in the squad for the finals, according to his statements today to the media, is Moses Wright. Moses Wright will be leaving. He will more than likely be joining Nigel Williams goes at Zalgiris or head off to Bayern. And again, it's also weird because it sounds the same as Nigel. Who's at fault? We'll never know because Wright's contract was, of course, ending as well. Did we not approach him with a renewal? Did we and he seeked out another contract? God knows. But again, no losses because whoever doesn't want to be here can go. But I do fear that Wright going away and getting perhaps a more important role will bite us in the ass. And of course, another player that may go is Milutinov. Of course, Milutinov said that he doesn't know. Again, the fact that there is no one to just get the players, to just keep them away from mics, to stop them from just making this whole debacle on socials with statements and stuff. Even Dorsey's statement blew up because Dorsey went after the coach that's protected him from everyone, and that's a whole story that I'll get into in a bit. But the fact that this is all happening not even a week before the finals is maddening, to say the least. But yeah, it seems that bar any sane changes, Milutinov will not be part of the team next season as well. And I'll be honest, if we were to keep a big, because I still stand by the statement that we can't full on rotate our big line, I do think that we'll keep one, and as things are shaping up, it does look like we will keep most. But again, I'll say the opinion that may not be popular, may be popular, God knows. I'd have rather to keep Nikola Milutinov than Mustafa Fall. But I don't know. There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of chatter going around. And I don't know. I'm lost. I'm so lost. I can't wait for everything to start clearing up. I really can't wait for everything to start clearing up. But yeah, if Milutinov goes, it will hurt the club, especially the Milutinov that's shown up lately. The Milutinov that's been crucial, that's been our best league, will hurt the club a lot, especially given that he will find the EuroLeague contract, that's for sure, in my opinion. But again, nothing's concrete. Everything will be concrete after the finals, but I would love to keep Milutinov in the club. Going back to Wright a bit, because I saw someone saying it and I do agree. If we kept him at DNP on the semi-final because he agreed with another club, that is, on one hand, expected, but on the other hand, we tried to punish someone and we ended up punishing ourselves by taking a lot of energy out from our game. But again, that's a lot of ifs and buts, and that's what the club is circling around right now. Moving on to something quite unexpected. I mean, not necessarily crazily logical, but quite unexpected. And that's Zach McKissick saying that he's heavily considering retirement after the season. I stopped just suddenly because I heard a shit ton of rain suddenly come down. It's been raining all this time. That's why I keep asking if my audio and everything is okay, because my connection is all messed up from the weather. But a lot of criticism went on Zach's shoulders after what he said yesterday. And a lot of criticism has gone on Zach's shoulders because as good as he started the season, he's ended it as bad. The last few months, Sakil McKissick has been nowhere near his best self, and that's cost us. But I'm not going to focus on that because if Sakil McKissick retires, because we know that he would have more than likely left either way, even if he doesn't retire. But if Zach retires after 6 seasons for Olympiacos, we owe him more than a thank you for all he's given to the club. I would have loved to send him off to retirement with the EuroLeague because he deserves it for all he gave to this club. But for anyone throwing hate at McKissick and saying good riddance and stuff like that, you're being ungrateful. You are. And just a thank you, in my opinion, isn't enough for someone given his all and more to this club and has grabbed every chance he has gotten, even if the last few months have been bad, very lackluster. Now, to someone who is being ungrateful, Tyler Dorsey, questioning Bartzokas live on media, saying that the questions we have for Dorsey, he has off Bartzokas that I haven't communicated the entirety of the year. You haven't performed you had a very bad situation in your life and coach be protected you from the people like his life depended on it. And then you go and sucker punch him at the end. For what purpose? To find another contract? It's very snaky to go and say that, and it's very ungrateful for a player that's done nothing in his second tenure of the club. He's had good moments, but he's more or less given nothing. And I'm not gonna hate him because again, I wasn't for his return. I understand why he did return, but it's very ungrateful to take your chance and take a jab at Bartzokas while you're still a player of this club and the season hasn't even ended. It's very ungrateful. Alec is another one. The limitation of minutes that Alec had on Friday was criminal. And that's fully on Bartzokas. But the performance that Alec had today hasn't really shown anything. It solidifies how incredible of a player he is, but we knew that. I'm not using today to criticize why he didn't play on Friday. I'm criticizing why he didn't play on Friday because I know what Alec can give. And Alec would have given a lot. Alec would have opened up our play. And Alec would have full on thrown away the main plan of Monaco. And he should have played a lot more, just like Miller should have played a lot more, just like Wright should have played on Friday. And Lee should have played more as well. I'm not really going to get into ownership questions. I do have a lot of complaints regarding the Angelopoulos, but this year I can't say much. My main complaint this year is that they've not protected Bartzokas, and after the loss, as far as I am aware at least, they haven't spoken to the media at all. But the people showed their gratitude, and I'm going to stay completely neutral for now, at least after the season is fully over. And I think that I will end with, as we're heading into an hour and 30, is the message rumors that have gone out that we have offered him a contract. The thing that I do want to say is that he is a player of his class at least, but I would love him specifically. He's a must. And we need to do all we can to bring him in. But again, that's a more detailed talk for after. Stay behind this team. Because as I said, Olympiacos never ends. People come and go, coaches come and go, but Olympiacos never ends. Thank you for sitting by. If you're listening to this now or after for this very long episode, and I can't wait to see you again. Hopefully tomorrow live, but basketball-wise, when the finals begin, unless any major news comes up. Thank you all so much. See you in the next